Imagine this. Chrissy Lampkin sitting alone, phone in hand, eyes full of confusion. And on the other side of that call, Jaguar Wright, the woman who's been exposing the biggest secrets in hip-hop. This wasn't just any conversation. It was a shocking, emotional, and brutally honest call that no one was ever supposed to hear. But somehow, word got out, and now the internet can't stop talking. Jaguar Wright didn't waste a second. She told Chrissy straight up, "You've been living a lie." And Jim's truth is darker than you think. From loyalty to betrayal, from love to manipulation, everything came spilling out. Fans are calling it the most explosive leak yet. One that could completely destroy Jim Jones' image and leave Chrissy heartbroken once again. But the real question is, what did Jaguar know that made Chrissy break down in tears? Was this call the final push that revealed what's really been happening behind closed doors? Stay right here, because in this video, we're diving deep into every shocking detail of that call, every confession, every hidden truth, and the real reason Chrissy Lampkin may never look at Jim Jones the same way again. This changes everything. The internet exploded last night when reports surfaced about a private call between Chrissy Lampkin and Jaguar Wright, a conversation that, according to insiders, could completely change the way fans look at Jim Jones. Now, for years, Chrissy and Jim have been that couple everyone thought they understood. From Love and Hip Hop to red carpet appearances, they've been through ups, downs, and decades of drama that felt like a never-ending roller coaster. But this time, it's different. Because when Jaguar Wright steps into the story, you already know something big is about to drop. Jaguar has a reputation. She doesn't talk unless she's got receipts. She's the same woman who's called out the biggest names in music. Jay-Z, Diddy, Mary J. Blige, even Beyoncé. And when she says she's got something to say about Jim Jones, people listen, according to a close source. Chrissy reached out to Jaguar out of pure frustration. She was tired of the rumors, tired of being painted as the woman who waited too long for a man to change. But what started as a heart-to-heart turned into something much darker. Jaguar reportedly told Chrissy things that made her question everything she thought she knew about Jim, and here's where it gets wild. Sources claim Jaguar told her that Jim's loyalty has never really been with her. Behind all the smiles and public affection, there's been a deeper agenda. Jaguar allegedly dropped a line that still has social media spinning. They made you believe this was love, but baby, this was business. That one sentence alone was enough to send shockwaves across fan pages. Because if that's true, if Chrissy's whole relationship was built on image, not intimacy, then everything we've seen on TV for over a decade might have just been a carefully crafted act. Chrissy, according to those close to her, was in tears. For years, she stood by Jim's side through scandals, through public humiliation, even through the moment she got down on one knee and proposed to him. The world clowned her for that, but she stood tall, saying she did it for love. But now, after this call, she might finally be seeing that love for what it really was, a one-sided story that kept her trapped in hope, while Jim chased something entirely different. Jaguar reportedly went further. She mentioned things that link Jim to industry people who control narratives, people who use relationships as smokescreens to protect reputations. She told Chrissy that sometimes keeping up the illusion of a relationship is part of a bigger game, one that's more about control than commitment. And that's when, according to the leaked reports, Chrissy went quiet, completely silent, because deep down she knew some of the things Jaguar was saying weren't new to her. She'd felt it for years. The emotional distance, the constant drama, the public image versus private reality. It had all been adding up. Jaguar told her something chilling. You've been protecting him for so long, but who's been protecting you? That line hit hard, not just for Chrissy, but for every woman watching her story unfold over the years. Because Chrissy has always been seen as loyal, patient, devoted, sometimes to a fault. But Jaguar wasn't speaking to her as a gossip source. She was speaking like someone trying to wake her up from a long sleep. The conversation reportedly went on for nearly an hour. Jaguar didn't hold back, and Chrissy didn't hang up. She listened, maybe because part of her needed to hear it by the end of the call. Jaguar had painted a picture of Jim Jones that most fans never imagined. A man torn between loyalty to his image and his true feelings. Someone who might have sacrificed love just to maintain status in an industry that feeds on chaos. And if that wasn't enough, Jaguar allegedly mentioned names, people in Jim's circle who knew what was going on, but stayed quiet to protect their own positions. She said, "They all knew. They just let you play the role." Now, that single sentence has people online digging deep, wondering if this call was just the start of something bigger. Because if more leaks come out, it could mean serious damage for Jim's public reputation and possibly even his career. Meanwhile, Chrissy's been silent since the news broke. No statements, no interviews, just a single cryptic Instagram story that read, "Sometimes the truth doesn't set you free, it breaks you first." Fans immediately connected that post to the leaked call rumors. Thousands flooded her comments, begging her to speak out, while others turned their attention toward Jim, demanding he clear his name. But Jim, he's been quiet too. No posts, no reactions, nothing. And in the world of celebrity scandals, silence often speaks louder than words. Industry insiders say this isn't the first time Jaguar has dropped explosive truths, but it might be the first time her words actually got through to someone deeply connected to the story. And if Chrissy decides to speak publicly about what she heard, this could become one of the most shocking moments in love and hip-hop history. The story took a shocking turn when whispers started spreading that the Chrissy Jaguar call wasn't just overheard, it was recorded. Nobody knows exactly who hit the record button. But according to an insider close to Jaguar, the call wasn't meant for the world. Yet somehow, pieces of it leaked online. Within hours, short audio clips began circulating on underground gossip forums. You could barely make out the voices. But fans swear they heard Chrissy saying, "I can't keep pretending. Jag, I can't keep defending someone who won't defend me." And then Jaguar's voice came in, low, but sharp. "You already know the truth, Chrissy. You've just been too loyal to admit it." Those two lines were enough to ignite a firestorm. Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, everyone was suddenly talking about the call. Clips started spreading like wildfire, each one claiming to reveal more than the last. People began analyzing voice tones, comparing waveforms, and trying to confirm if the audio was real. Meanwhile, Chrissy's name was trending again, but this time, not because of love and hip-hop. This was real life. This was raw. And this was heartbreak caught on tape for years. Fans had watched her fight for Jim's love, proposing to him, waiting for him, defending him from critics only to be left hanging when he never truly committed. And now, this call seemed like the emotional explosion everyone had seen coming but didn't want to believe. On Instagram, fan pages began posting side-by-side clips. Chrissy crying on past episodes versus her alleged voice from the leaked call. The caption, "She's been breaking in silence all along." Comment sections turned into emotional confessionals. You can hear the pain in her voice. Jaguar might sound crazy sometimes, but she never lies. Jim's silence says everything. Meanwhile, over on X, formerly Twitter, hashtags like #ChrissyDeservesBetter and #JaguarWasRight began trending. Even verified accounts from the entertainment world jumped in, some defending Chrissy, others warning Jaguar to be careful with what she was putting out there. Jaguar Wright, of course, didn't stay silent for long. Just hours after the clips went viral, she went live on Instagram, face serious, voice steady, energy deadly calm. She said, "People think I'm doing this for clout, but I don't speak on anything unless it's true. Chrissy reached out to me as a woman, and I told her what I've seen with my own eyes. If that makes people uncomfortable, maybe they should start asking Jim Jones why." That live alone hit 200K views in a few hours. And the comment section flooded. Half were calling her a hero for freeing Chrissy, the other half accusing her of destroying another black couple for views. But what stood out most was Jaguar's next statement, one that had fans' jaws dropping. That call? That was just part one. There's more, and if Jim keeps playing games, I'll release the rest. That was the moment things got real. Because now, it wasn't just about a relationship, it was about exposure. Jaguar was basically saying she had proof. And in an industry built on secrets, that kind of threat carries serious weight. People close to Jim started scrambling. One anonymous source told a hip-hop blog that Jim had been furious when he heard about the leak, not just because of what was said, because it made him look vulnerable. Apparently, he'd been trying to rebuild his image quietly. And this situation threw him back into a spotlight he didn't want, the source claimed. Jim doesn't like being called out, especially not by Jaguar. He feels she's messing with things she doesn't understand. But the truth is, Jaguar understands exactly what she's doing. She's been exposing the music industry for years. And every time she speaks, people listen, whether they believe her or not. And this time she's touching a nerve that's deeply personal. During that same Instagram Live, Jaguar hinted at why she felt Chrissy had been trapped. She said some women are used as shields. They stand next to powerful men to keep the lies looking clean. But when the love isn't real, the energy always shows. That line hit hard across social media. Because it wasn't just a jab, it sounded like a warning. And fans started connecting dots. Old photos, past interviews, and even clips from Love and Hip Hop, pointing out moments where Chrissy looked uncomfortable or quiet whenever certain topics came up. People began to believe that Chrissy might have been protecting more than just her relationship, maybe even Jim's image, in ways fans never realized. Days passed, still no statement from Jim Jones. No denial, no defense, nothing. And that silence became its own story. Because when you're innocent, you speak. When you're guilty, you disappear. Meanwhile, Chrissy posted a single black heart emoji on her Instagram story. No caption, no context. But fans knew exactly what it meant. Pain, loss, and maybe acceptance. Jaguar, on the other hand, doubled down. In another life, she said. They always say I'm lying. But every time, the truth comes out eventually. I'm not done yet, I'm just getting started. Industry blogs are claiming there's a second recording, even more explosive, where Chrissy allegedly mentioned something about Jim's deals and other women connected to the industry. Whether true or not, the rumor alone has been enough to keep everyone talking by midweek. YouTube channels and gossip blogs were flooded with theories. Some said Jaguar was exposing too much and would face consequences. Others claimed she was finally forcing accountability in a toxic industry. But one thing was certain. The story wasn't dying down. In fact, it was spreading. And fans were waiting, refreshing pages every few hours, wondering, will Jaguar really release the rest of that call? And if she does, will it destroy Jim Jones once and for all? And just when everyone thought it couldn't get worse, Jaguar posted something cryptic that changed the tone completely. They told me to be quiet. But I don't scare easy. That's when fans realized this isn't just gossip anymore. This is a battle of truth versus power. And what's coming next could change everything. After days of silence and endless speculation, the internet had gone completely wild. Fans were demanding answers. Bloggers were dropping new inside sources every hour. And still, Jim Jones refused to say a single word. That silence was starting to feel louder than any statement he could have made. Then out of nowhere, Jaguar Wright went live again. And this time, she wasn't holding back. Her tone was different. Not angry, not bitter, just calm. Like someone who already knew what was coming, she started the live by saying, "You can try to silence me. You can try to call me crazy. But when you've seen what I've seen, there's no going back. This isn't about gossip anymore. This is about the truth." Those words sent chills down everyone's spine. In the background, you could hear faint sounds, almost like papers being shuffled or a recording being queued up. And then she said it. "This is the message I want Jim Jones to hear loud and clear." The comments section exploded. Thousands of people watching live, waiting to see what she would say next. She looked straight into the camera and said, "Jim, you built your whole image around loyalty and brotherhood. But what happens when the people closest to you start whispering? What happens when your own woman finds out what you really have been doing behind closed doors?" The chat went crazy. Some fans begged her to stop. Others told her to keep going. She continued, "I told Chrissy things I didn't want to say. I didn't say them to hurt her. I said them because she deserves the truth. You've had that woman holding you down for decades, defending you while you played both sides of the street. You think love is control, but what you really have is fear." That line, "You think love is control, but what you really got is fear," instantly became a trending quote. Memes, reels, edits, everyone was using it. Because it wasn't just about Jim and Chrissy anymore. It was about every woman who's ever stood by a man who refused to grow up. Then, Jaguar dropped something that made the live go from dramatic to dangerous. She said, "You want me to shut up? Then tell your people to stop calling mine. I ain't scared of you, I ain't scared of your connections, and I definitely ain't scared of the truth. You know what's on that second recording? So do I. But I'll let you decide if the world needs to hear it." The internet froze. Did she really just confirm that there was a second recording? Within minutes, the clip was reposted everywhere. Twitter timelines filled with theories. Did Jim cheat? Was it business stuff? Is there another woman involved? Nobody knew for sure, but one thing was clear: Jaguar wasn't bluffing. Meanwhile, Chrissy's social media activity spoke volumes. She unfollowed Jim on Instagram, something fans instantly noticed. Then she deleted several old photos of them together, leaving only a few vague posts behind. No caption. No explanation, just quiet digital cleanup. People close to her told gossip outlets that Chrissy had been shaken but calm. Apparently, she hadn't spoken publicly because she was still processing everything, Jaguar said, and everything she heard on that phone call. Some sources claimed Chrissy felt betrayed, not just by Jim, but by the fact that so many people around them already knew things she didn't. Single quotes. T.1 insider told Hollywood Unplugged. Chrissy's heartbroken, but she's not surprised. Deep down, she always knew something was off. She's just tired. Tired of covering, tired of waiting, tired of pretending. As these quotes spread online, fans started calling this the Chrissy awakening. It wasn't just a breakup rumor anymore. It had turned into a moment of empowerment. A woman finally realizing her worth after years of loyalty. Then came the twist nobody saw coming. A leaked screenshot began circulating online. Allegedly a text from a number linked to Jim Jones sent to Jaguar Wright. The message said, "You're playing with fire. Stop mentioning me before you regret it." No one could confirm if it was real, but the timing was suspicious. Jaguar responded on her own story with just one line: "Threats don't scare truth tellers." That was it. No more lives. No more posts. Just silence. And in that silence, chaos. The internet exploded with speculation. Some fans said Jaguar went quiet because she was preparing legal evidence. Others said she was laying low because she'd received real threats. But her message had already spread too far to be erased. Every blog, every podcast, every gossip page was now running with the same headline: Jaguar Wright exposes Jim Jones. Chrissy's final call revealed. What made it more powerful was how Chrissy carried herself afterward. A week later, she appeared at a small event in New York alone. No Jim, no entourage, no cameras, just Chrissy, looking calm but distant. When reporters asked how she was doing, she smiled softly and said, "I'm fine." Sometimes the truth hurts, but it also frees you. That one quote became the closing chapter of this entire story. Because for years, Chrissy was seen as the woman who waited, the woman who chased, the woman who loved too hard. But now, fans saw her as something else. The woman who finally walked away, behind the scenes. Rumors say Jim has been doing damage control, reaching out to PR teams, trying to shift attention toward music and avoiding interviews. But it's too late. The internet doesn't forget. And this story has already become part of hip-hop's most talked about scandals. Jaguar. Meanwhile, posted one last message a few days later, a picture of a candle burning with the caption, "Some flames are meant to cleanse, not destroy." Fans interpreted it as her final word, that her goal was never to ruin lives, but to reveal truth as the dust settled. One thing became clear. This wasn't just about Chrissy and Jim. It was about loyalty, manipulation, and how far people will go to hide their truth. It showed that in the world of fame and power, silence is often more dangerous than lies. And though the second recording never surfaced, the fear of what it could contain was enough to shake an entire industry. Producers, artists, and insiders started moving differently, avoiding questions, acting nervous whenever Jaguar's name came up. She didn't need to post proof. The threat of the truth was powerful enough, and as the camera fades out, one quote echoes in every viewer's mind. "Love isn't about how long you wait. It's about what you're waiting for." Chrissy waited years for honesty, and when she finally got it, it came from the last person anyone expected, Jaguar Wright. And that's the hidden truth that turned one phone call into a cultural moment. Because sometimes it only takes one conversation to expose everything they tried to hide. So, what do you think really happened between Chrissy, Jim Jones, and Jaguar Wright? Was this just another rumor blown out of proportion? Or did Jaguar really expose something Jim never wanted the world to know? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single one of them. And if you've been following this story from the beginning, you already know. This isn't over yet, so make sure you hit that like button if you believe Chrissy deserves the truth, and subscribe with the bell on, because the next chapter in this story is coming sooner than anyone expects. Until next time, keep your eyes open, your mind sharp, and remember, in the world of fame and power, nothing stays hidden forever.